What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more acid-techno, and we're jumping right back to the Our Time Is Now Getafix Records 23rd anniversary double LP release. Once again, major shout out to my good friend, one of the true champions of the acid scene, and one of the true gentlemen of the techno world, Bad Boy Pete, as well as all the collaborators who are part of this double record release, and all those who've been shouted out in this big up section down here. And yes, we're going to listen to a tune that features not only Pete and his innovative and classic at the same time approach to acid techno, but also one of my favorite producers, someone I've been talking about for literally 30 years, that is the Geezer, Guy McGaffer, as well as Miro and Biri, the latter of which, who's obviously been collaborating with Geezer a lot in the last decade or so, last dozen years, as part of both the UFO label and the Planet Techno, which has since, I think, become Planet Acid Techno. But yes, this is another four-person collaboration, and in this moment in time, it might actually be my favorite release among both records. Certainly, I think the Acid Liberation Special Message is on the same level, and it is articulating the ethos of the release overall. But people who know me will know I'm especially partial to the Geezer's production stylings and his acid mastery, and in that regard, this one bears his stamp quite heavily. So let's hear it. This is Geezer, Miro, Bad Boy Pete, and Biri, and their track Dance for Life, which again is sort of what we acid techno enthusiasts intend to do right to our dying day. electric, metallic. It's just an absolute masterclass, and again, very much in the Geezer style. I think his DNA is all over this track, as well as the other collaborators, and again, big shout out to Pete for this whole release, and for his part in this track, shout out to the Portugueser, Mr. Biri, as well as Miro. I just love this tune, and as I said, in the moment, right now, right after getting the release, it might be the one that's standing out to me the most. I love, like, it's somehow edgy and very warehouse sounding, and yet a bit euphoric, even melodic at the same time. It's sort of this euphoric acid techno, but unmistakably warehouse acid techno at the same time. And yeah, I love the acid work, again, very Geezer style, the kick drum, it just has that, it's like this deep thump. It's not like this pounding thump where, it's sort of taking over the rest of the track, but there's a lot of thump to it, there's a lot of oomph to it, even as it, again, is just kind of supporting the rest of the sonics throughout the sound sphere. And, I realized during this reaction that in the one for Acid Liberation special message, I forgot to comment, like, in that track, there's these really wicked, dissonant type of sounds. There's one that's almost like this alarm or an alert, and it's, very intense, a bit shrill. And again, if you listen to acid techno for a long time, sounds like that, they are maybe an acquired taste. You might, most ears maybe hearing them for the first time be like, oh, it's a bit sharp, a bit dissonant, is it? But again, you listen to them over the years and over the decades, and suddenly those dissonant type sounds, they're just like a fine wine that really can take a good acid track and make it into a great one. And there's something similar happening here, though they're not quite as sharp and dissonant. So there's those, what I call electric and metallic synth pulses, and eventually they're working in conjunction with each other where it's almost like this, multi-part melody, which again is part of why it comes across as a bit euphoric and melodic acid techno. But yeah, they still have this metallic quality, but they're electric, and they are, as I said, a bit more consonant to the ear, a bit less sharp than the ones in Acid Liberation. So yeah, I really love those elements, and in that outro section, they kind of come to the fore a bit, because a lot of the acid work has died down, and you can tell it's riding its way to the end, though it's a nice full outro, meaning it doesn't strip down to just a kick and a hat and maybe an occasional crash cymbal where it's like it could be any tune, and really extending a transition out of it into another track doesn't fully make sense. But it has a nice outro where there's still a lot of elements going on, where if you do blend it with another incoming track, you can still feel the vibe of this tune as it's on its way out, even as you're introducing the new elements of the incoming tune. So I always enjoy that. It's well-crafted tune for a DJ, as well as a piece of acid art on its own. So yeah, I really do love that, and ultimately I'm looking forward to going through all of the tracks on here. Once more, big shout out to Pete for this incredible release, which I'm looking forward to celebrating with you all. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.